Disney Plus best MCU projects to date, arguably Loki. We're getting into season 2. We've already covered episodes 1 and 2. We seem to be covering these in multiples at a time. So we're gonna get into all that goodness. But Loki season 2 so far has it's caught up. It started a little slow, but my God, it ramped up. We're gonna talk about all of it. But first, let me introduce the guys live from the man cave. It's K-Lo-K, the Mama Wanna God. Leo, what is happening?
I hate Miss Minutes. I can't stand this bitch.
That fickle, you know what? It hasn't been a minute yet. I can't say it. Spread love is the Brooklyn way. Big Chase, what's happening?
Yo, listen, man. I listen. This whole shit is just a big ass merry-go-round, bro. I already see it. I already see it.
Yep.
I already see it.
And I, of course, am your man in the chair, Aaron. So I guess. Listen, let's just jump right in and let's talk about let's start with episode 3. So episode 3 was when we first got introduced to Victor Timely. They traveled back to Chicago. They went to 2 separate dates. I don't have the date sitting right in front of me, but I want to say it was 1893. Does that sound right?
I think it was a little further than that.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit further because Edison still was doing the light bulb when he was working on the time machine in that episode, where he was fucking drifting everybody.
Let me just make sure I have my dates correct here.
Victor Timely was.
Yeah, no, 1890. They traveled further than that, but it was after that. It was 1893's World Fair.
Okay.
Oh yes.
1893 World Fair. But they went back a little further than that initially when they did the time.
Right,
show.
and initially it went back further.
I can't remember the date off the top of my head. Sorry about that. But but basically we start that episode off and we see Miss Minutes and Renslayer hop back, and they bring the TVA guide to Victor Timely and drop it off to him.
Mm-hmm.
Which right from the very beginning, you're like, this is gonna be some bullshit. I know there's about to be some bullshit that's going on right here. So they drop off the TVA guide to Victor Timely, and then we fast forward a little bit to the 1893 Chicago's World Fair, and Loki and Mobius have both gone and tried to find Victor Timely. And of course, they get confronted by Sylvie along the way, who's also time hopping, trying to stop Miss Minutes and Renslayer and Loki. And so we just have everybody's trying to stop each other from getting to Victor Timely, and whoever gets there first is going to win the race, right? So, I mean, obviously from that point on, I don't know how you guys felt about this episode, but I was sitting there watching, and I'm like, man, yo, Victor Timely just has everybody in the palm of his hand, kind of. He's sitting there like he's got everybody playing a game and thinking he's, maybe like Loki and Mobius are giving him some sympathy, and then Miss Minutes and Renslayer are trying to like help him become who he's supposed to become. And then Sylvie's like, let me end all this beforehand so this way it doesn't get to where he's, he who remains or whatever. So it's just a big cat and mouse game that we're watching unfold before our hands. So what did you guys think about episode 3?
You want to take it, Chase? Go first.
I mean, listen. At this point, you're seeing the formation of a lot of things, which is why I said this thing is in a gigantic loop. Because if He Who Remains leaked the technology to Victor Timely at a young age, who is supposedly responsible for creating the TVA, well, that means that He Who Remains is not actually dead, because at the end of the evolution of Victor Timely, he would become He Who Remains. At least that's how I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
So this is his backup file, because basically this was already pre-coded into the instructions that he gave Miss Minutes and what's the name? What's the chick's name?
Renslayer.
So, okay, this is what you got to go do. So now that they found out that he's gone, and that more importantly that her memory's been wiped several times.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Miss Minutes is now the buffer and the manager to decide what to do in his absence. So she's like, okay, you're going to take this back, give this back to him. And now the time thing literally like resets and you go all over again. Because now he comes back, he finds out who he is, but he's already learning the stuff that he created.
Yeah, it was like when they were running away in that scene when he was freaking drinking. The one thing that I did love about that scene is when they were all in that bar or whatever, saloon, whatever the fuck it is, when he was showing his machine off. He was so freaking confident, not one stutter, not nothing. And he was just confident with his project, and he was confident with him telling everybody. And then you got the big guy from fucking that works for Edison. Oh, I'll buy the machine for $1,000. I was like, God damn, $1,000 must have went a long, fucking way.
Listen, you talking about at a time period where a week's wage, I don't know, might have been about 50 cents. So yeah, $1,000 is some serious bread.
That's some coin back then.
And he has the book, and then he takes I think who's the chick with Miss Minutes? I'm sorry, Renslayer. He takes her back to his house, and she sees another invention for a chair there with wheels on it and all this.
Holds the thing in the hand. Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, so he's been inventing, and when he was actually a kid, when he first got the book, you actually saw him inventing and looking at chairs and looking at things and trying to disassemble it. So yeah. I'm like, oh shit, okay. And then he gets the book, and then then all hell breaks out when he starts doing the changes and all this shit, and all the changes from him being the time jump from him being an adult after you got the book, and then you get him into the bar, and that's his first introduction, and then you get the introduction of him when he gets off the stage, the not so confident person. The stuttering starts.
Yeah,
and you can see the progression of him as a character. So it was like, I was like, fucking episode 3. I was like, shit.
I mean,
and
basically,
Aaron said it.
He was your swindler from back in the day. He was your
yes.
old school. Like, I have all these inventions and pay me money, and then all of a sudden he's running away with your money. And you have no idea why your inventions all fucked up.
Yeah,
you're like, okay, like he's a swindler. Like that's what he played, and then he acted all nervous when he got caught. But speaking of just. I don't even know how to introduce him. I'm just going to bring in the guy from Texas. He's floating around backstage.
Oh,
man, listen, it's Wendeezy. What's going on, bro?
Easy's in the building.
What's good, my little troublemakers?
What's happening,
bro? So we talking about this Loki 3 and 4, man.
Episode 3 right now.
We're on 3 right now.
What's your take on it, Wendeezy?
Yo, my man, they say he in Chicago. My man straight from uptown. I don't care nobody.
Yo, I said the same thing, bro. Yo, I know you're a Harlem cat, dude.
That's straight 125th.
That's a Harlem
Get
dude,
you for
bro.
all your bread.
He looked like my man from what's the joint with Wesley Snipes and him and his brother drug dealers uptown. So he look like the father from Sugar Hill, bro.
Hell yeah!
He look like the father from Sugar Hill, my guy.
Don't let him get you on, bro. Like that stuttering thing he do. Yo, my man straightened up real quick during that episode.
Yo,
say the same fucking thing.
It's so funny how he changed, like his personality changes as soon as he feels like he has the upper hand. It's like, oh no, all of a sudden you don't stutter anymore. All right, bro, I got your game. I understand.
Oh no, my man took it with the first part when he took him to the shanty. Oh yeah, says, this is not my apartment. My apartment is across the river. I just put my shoes in this motherfucker.
So I jotted down a couple of parts from episode 3 that actually stood out to me, which I don't know if you guys noticed these parts too. But remember back in the very beginning when Loki and Mobius first showed up to Chicago Fair 1893, and they showed there was like these carvings, and it was of all the a bunch of the people from Asgard.
Oh
they
yes,
they had Odin and they had Thor, and then they gave a shout to fucking Balder the Brave. I was like, okay, like, and then like of course Loki has to make the crack like Thor's not even that tall. I was like, this fucking guy, of course he's got to make a crack about his brother. I think that they're also low-key saying that there's gonna be like a reuniting of Thor and Loki at some point, and we're just all like sitting here waiting for it. You know what I mean? But the other thing another part that really stood out to me is when they were on their way back, when they had gotten away from everybody, and Miss Minutes and Renslayer had freaking Victor Timely. They were traveling along that road, and then all of a sudden, like Miss Minutes, like kicked Renslayer off the fucking thing. She fucking cut her off. I'm like, yo, this is jealous bitch. This she just wants Victor Timely to herself. I'm like, yo, she's in love with Victor Timely. It's crazy.
That shit was crazy. She's like, said you heard that?
Yo, bro, right
in his ear,
yo,
like this.
Yo, Miss Minutes never looked crazier than when they got back to his apartment, and all of a sudden she started like glitching out, and she was like, "I let." I'm like, oh,
she's like, why you never gave me your body?
Why you never gave me a body?
Yo,
mannequin face. I was like,
bro. That shit was fucking wild. Oh man!
Like, why? And she also asked him, "Why didn't you make me?" See, that's what fucking freaked me out.
Why didn't you give me a physical body?
Why didn't you give me a physical body? I was like, "Ooh, you sick little fucking thing!" You.
I wonder what if AIs are doing that now, currently in the real world.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, don't go watch The Creator. We got to talk about that movie, bro. You guys got to watch that shit.
But Kang, I don't even think Kang realized he made like a monster in Miss Minutes in and of herself. She hacks into everything and she's just taking over systems. I'm like, yeah, it's a whole nother fucking.
She's him.
She's him.
She's him.
She's literally the Tony Stark equivalent of Jarvis. She's Kang's Jarvis. That's literally what she is. She takes over fucking everything.
She has complete access to everything which he gave her. Programming the whole nine, like yo, dude, like she's completely just running autonomously and whatnot. But again, this is part of his plan. You know, like we never can forget that he has seen all of this stuff happen before.
But she just does it with this charming Southern accent, like, "Oh, darling, bless your heart." You think
that's the ultimate insult right then and there.
It really. I know
you hear "bless your heart." Yeah,
don't talk to me like that. Don't question me. Don't do that.
Right before you put the knife on my back. Crazy.
She has that kind of accent. She has that accent that, like, we just did it. Oh, did I leave my shoes in the bottom of your bed that night? Comfortable as all shit. Say whatever the fuck she want to say.
Yeah, like she about to give you a glass of Minute Maid orange juice or something, bro. Like,
yo, chill.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's how it's like, bro. Like every time she talk, don't you feel like you about to get some country biscuits and ham or something? Yeah. But you know, that's the whole point because she does not seem conflictual. She doesn't seem like a threat when you hear that. But meanwhile, she's watching and she's not even in the room half of the time, but she's in the room. Oh, and she knows what's going on.
She stuck her face on that mannequin, and I was like, "Ooh, like, come on, man!"
Don't. Yeah, that was fucking creepy. That was creepy.
Don't do that shit. It's weird.
Yo, she's about to take it from.
And when he kicked that chick off when he kicked her off into that boat, I was laughing my ass off.
Yo, that was so crazy, bro.
My man said, "Boop."
Did you hear that? Partners.
And then of course obviously Mobius and Loki show up and Sylvie shows up and everything transpires and Renslayer and Miss Minutes get booted into the layer of He Who Remains where they get to see the dead body and all that. And I hate that Miss Minutes all of a sudden, Miss Minutes became Renslayer's friend again after trying to kick her ass off the boat. She's like, "Oh, you're not gonna like this story, but I'll tell you anyway. But we gotta agree to like partner up now. You know what I mean?" I'm like, "Yo, bitch, fuck."
She said,
"Master manipulator. That's master class
master manipulator, right, bro. It should have.
You're gonna be really mad.
You're gonna be mad. But
you're gonna be really mad.
Really mad.
When the episode ended, I was like. When that episode ended, I was like, "What the fuck? I was like,
I
no, she's
already
not.
knew. I was like, yo, I said,
Yep.
let me find out she's the love interest of fucking He Who Remains.
Of course.
Because I was like, it only made sense to me because he was trusting her. He was entrusting her, besides Miss Minutes, with so much stuff. And I was like, yo,
Miss
Okay.
Minutes is a jealous ass girlfriend.
But you heard
Jealous
that conversation in like the earlier episodes when Loki was running through when he was time slipping. He heard you heard that whole conversation. You didn't hear the end of it, but you heard the majority of it. I'd be happy to lead with you.
right.
White
So we got
folk-
to talk about well, we haven't got we still on 3.
We have. I mean, we're good. I mean,
Let's
that leads us right into
So,
4.